Good morning, Panthers. How are my Panthers doing this morning, right? Panthers, this is a calendar for April, right? If you can check here, we have what we call upward counting. This is whereby we continue counting. If the month of March ended on the 31st, we continue with 32, 33, 34, 35 up until we get to the last day of the month. And also we have downward counting. If the month of March ended on the 31st, we have 30, 29. These factors, Panthers, they play a major role in having to provide us with always our numbers. They are the factors that make up the formula that is responsible for providing Panthers with booming numbers, right? I'm going to make it make sense, right? So Panthers, as you all know that we have DRD. I don't know if my video is very visible. Today I'm going to use a pen. So we have DRD, which is the draw relation date, and also we have the PDD. We have the PDD, which is the playing draw date, playing draw date. And then we have the draw relation date. My bad, Panthers. Draw relation date. Draw relation date. Now, let's say we want to prove a draw that played yesterday. So our DRD for yesterday, it was sitting on the 13. It was sitting on the 13th of April. And then our DRD, what was yesterday's date? Yesterday, it was the 16th. So basically, in order for me to calculate and predict a draw, I need to make use of my DRD, right? Remember what I've told you, Panthers. I said these factors, they play a major role. We said, JT, our numbers we have our DRD, which is on the 13th of April, right? We have the DRD, which is on the 13th of April, and then we have a playing draw date, which is on the 16th. So when we count high, we're going to say now we have these four factors that makes up the formula. We have high of DRD, and please, Panthers, don't mind my background. High of DRD, low of DRD, and then we have high of PDD, and then we have low of PDD, right? Now, JT, let us look at these four factors. These four factors are very important. Panthers, as I've highlighted, I have a PDF on this one. I'm going to highlight it at the end of this video, right? Now, let us check. Now, we set our DRD sitting on the 13. Now, when you count 32, 33, up until you get to the 13 is 14. This is high of DRD. And then this is high of, again, we set our DRD is on the 13. And then our playing draw date is on the 16. We have high of DRD, which is 44. And then we have high of PDD, which is 47. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say high of DRD is 44. And then high of PDD, it is 47. Now we go back. We say low of what? Low of DRD is 18. This is now whereby we have downward counting. We have low of DRD, which is 18. And then we have low of PDD, which is 15. All right. Here we have 18. And then here we have 15. All right, Panthers, these four factors, they are very, very important. As I always emphasize on the lessons on the PDF, you must know these factors just like you know yourself, right? These factors are very, very important. Now, okay, JT, let us get to yesterday's draw. Let us try and prove yesterday's draw. Remember, my Panthers, I'm going to restrict formula. I'm going to restrict information as much as I can. Ne? We have lunchtime yesterday. Ne? So now, Panthers, please bear with me. On this one, I'm going to be very strict about it. Ne? I'm going to restrict information as much as I can because I want you to invest in this product. And also, I'm doing it in protection of the Panthers that have subscribed for this information. It will be unfair of them, whereas they paid and Panthers did not pay. So here, I'm just giving you a glimpse of what to expect in the PDF group, right? This is whereby I'm going to retrieve information very, very strict, right? So I'm going to say X and Y, ne? X and Y and X and Y. All right. But then note that I used these factors. Ne? I used these factors in order to get to my numbers. Ne? And then it gave me 35. It gave me 35. It involves these factors, Panthers. It involves these factors, my bad. It involves these factors, and then it gave me 35. And then I say high of PDD minus 35. High of PDD is what? Is 47, and then we say 47. Right, and then we say 47 minus 35, it equals to 12, right? And then I do another one. This one is now the opposite. I say y and x and y and x, right? This one it equals to 58. It equals to 58. Remember, Panthers, if I'm trying to calculate lunchtime, it is going to give me a guideline as to how do I go about tea time. Ne? So we say now 58 minus 15, right? On the first one, we used high of PDD. Now we're going to use low of PDD. Ne? And then we say now 58 minus 15. What is 58 minus 15? It has to be 43. Right? We've calculated 12. And also we have calculated 43. All right? 12, 43, that is the numbers that we were able to calculate. Now, I need to understand what is the number that can give me a guideline. When we say 58 minus 35, it gives me 23, all right? You're going to see how we're going to use this 23. Now, this 23, it provides a guideline as to, on the next, if you're trying to calculate tea time, you must achieve 25 on these numbers. So it gives you a guideline. It gives you a guideline on these numbers, right? Now we're going to move on to tea time now. We're going to move on to tea time. Tea time is very different compared to lunchtime, ne? Right? And I'm going to say Y and X. Pandas, please bear with me. For those that don't understand, it's high time that you invest in this. Ne? Y and X and X. My bad. Y and X and Y and X. Ne? So this one, it equals to 30. Ne? It equals to 30. And then I said 30 plus 15, which is a law of PDD. Ne? Say 30 plus 15. It is a law of PDD. Ne? And then we come back again, we say the opposite now. Remember, Pandas, where you see X and Y, it is whereby I've restricted information, right? I've restricted information. Remember, we have a target here. I said this one, it gave us 23. So on the next one, there must be a numerical order. 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, and also on, right? So now we say 55 minus 15, which is also a law of PDD. Ne? 55 minus 15 is 40. And then we have calculated 45, 40. We have calculated 45 and 40. Now we need to understand whether did we reach our target. This serves as a guideline. You know, if you can solve lunchtime first and understand what is the guideline about, it is very, very easy for pandas to understand. Okay, if I have 23, I must achieve 25. They have a two difference. 3, 5, 7. They have a two difference. And also we have a PDF for Russia go slot. But then let us solve this mystery first. When we say 55 minus 30, it must give us 25. You see what is happening? 23, 25. This serves as a guideline. So if I were to calculate a draw and it gives me 33, I know for a fact that if I'm trying to calculate tea time, I must get 35. So, but then these draws are very different. I saw it from Russia go slot. Russia, it has a 3 difference, whereby it is 3, 6, 9. You see? So these draws are very, very different. Pandas, this is how we got to calculate yesterday. We had 12:43 on lunch, and then we had 45:40 on tea time. Once again, pandas, where you see X and Y, this is whereby I've received information. But that information, it has to do with these 4 factors. High of DRD, high of PDD, low of DRD, low of PDD, right? So pandas, let us invest in having to understand numbers. We have a PDF that is available for this thing. For now, I'm going to focus on UK, and also we have South African Powerball PF, and also we have Russian Go Slot PDF. It's high time pandas invest in having to learn numbers compared to having to dream numbers. You understand? Or having to translate their dreams to numbers. I don't mean it in a bad manner, pandas, but then please understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, with that being said, pandas, let us see you on the next one. Let us comment, like, and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. So yeah, for those that are interested, pandas, you can text me on 062 335 1836. 062 335 1836. Please text me only if you wishes to buy my PDF and you want to subscribe for my main groups. Don't text me for the sake of having my contacts, because I'm going to block you, right? So pandas, all those that want to join any of my groups, and text me only when you are ready. When you are ready, and say, you know what, JT, can you please forward me your banking details? And the PDF again is 300. Ne? Just text me only if you are ready. If you are ready, say, you know what, JT, can you please forward me your banking details so that I can buy the PDF, so that I can join? Don't text me for the sake of it, because I'm going to have you blocked. With that being said, good luck when it comes to today's draw. Pandas, never mistake any of my videos as a current draw predictions, but then they are a recap. Thank you, pandas, and God bless.